NetEase has ruined the hero identity and the hero fantasy of Iron Fist with their rework. It's the worst rework I've ever seen in the hero shooter genre, and they actually need to go back and revert the damage changes where they tried to reinvent the wheel with Iron Fist for absolutely no reason. They tried to tune too many knobs and they made a mistake. It happens, but they have to go back and fix it. Today, I'm talking about how they gutted the viability and the fun of at least solo queue Iron Fist for 80% of the matchups in game and why his rework was a big premature mistake. Okay, let's break it down. Let's start off with where Iron Fist was as a character in Season 0. As a melee-based character, and I say this as somebody who hit top 100 on him in One Above All, just mainly playing Iron Fist. I had to learn this character from scratch again. This is the type of character that I've played for 10 years in this genre, right? So I was able to pick him up fairly quickly, but there were a couple things that I learned right away when playing him. One, his cooldowns were not competitive at all for a melee-based character. If you're going to play a melee-based character, you need to have high uptime cooldowns to be able to compete with the range damage in the game, right? Obviously, you have Hela who can 2-tap, Hawkeye can do all those things, and Iron Fist block cooldown was 15 seconds, and I think the kick was 12. For context, Black Panther's dash was 12 seconds in the betas, and then they reduced it to 8 seconds, right? So most big cooldowns in the game, even for the ranged damage characters, are on around like 8-second cooldowns. So why would Iron Fist's finishing move and highest mobility option be on a 12-second cooldown when it doesn't do very much damage, right? That didn't make sense. Then his block was a 15-second cooldown. So a lot of the times you had to spend, 5 to 8 seconds out of the fight doing nothing when you had no range damage option to actually contribute to the fight, which meant the character was useless in those situations. So you needed to play something else because consistency is key in this game. So they finally acknowledged that his cooldowns were too bad to be competitive. However, when they reworked the character, I said this in Season 0, I said, he has some of the lowest damage output in the entire game. If you nerf this character's damage, he will instantly become terrible, unplayable. You can't play the character. I said this in Season 0. You can go find the VOD. And what did they do? Something interesting that did not need to happen, that they've now left him in an unplayable state that's made his gameplay loop one-dimensional, boring, not fun, and terrible. They changed his damage to be a just objectively worse version of Wolverine, who does insane amounts of damage. They've giga-buffed Wolverine this season again, but they make Iron Fist obsolete. They made his damage in his empowered punch form go down to like 11 or 12 flat damage, but then do 2.1% of enemy max HP. Against tanks like Groot and Hulk, this was more damage per second. But against every single squishy in the game, it lowered his damage per second by about 20%. Keep in mind, we're not talking about Black Panther here, or even Spider-Man, where frankly, the support players are right. Those characters are incredibly impossible to play against, where Black Panther can sometimes instantaneously kill somebody with game that has very interesting neck. I'm not saying Panther is hard meta, but like, he is a pain to deal with, and he can instantly burst combo people. Spider-Man can pull you across the map, fly in with hyper mobility, instantly come in and combo a support. Those characters are all capable of instantaneous burst damage to instantly turn a fight and kill a support character. Iron Fist is not one of those characters. Wolverine can instantly shred a tank. Iron Fist cannot do that. He was never able to do that. He was the one flanker in the game that did not have a one-shot combo, to which any support player, if you have half a brain, can instantly react to. He is not like the other ones. So why did he have his damage reduced before a Spider-Man, before a Black Panther? And to be clear, I'm not saying those characters should be nerfed. I'm saying it made no sense to do this to Iron Fist and make his identity a weaker version of Wolverine, who can simply only punch tanks all game, and you cannot go for a support, or else you will always lose the matchup. They've created a DPS character that does so little damage that's designed to brawl and permanently be on the front line. You are throwing if you try to duel another DPS as a DPS. That is terrible game design. What you need to do, if you want him to be this style, make him a tank. If you don't want him to do much damage, you want him to brawl forever, raise his HP and move him to the tank role. To be clear, I don't think they should do that. I think they just need to revert his damage back to what it was and leave it at that. Because now supports and squishies heal through his ult without using an ult. Easily. His ult does so little damage because it's every form of his empowered form. Does 20% less damage to squishies. It was such a terrible decision. So what else did they do in Season 2? They buffed all of his cooldowns. He regened his cooldowns at 1.5 second reduction instead of 1 for each punch. So one punch gives you 1.5 second cooldown reduction instead of 1. And then they lowered the cooldown of the kick down to like 12 seconds from 15. They actually made it more competitive, which is great. Okay, that's awesome. Except for the fact that they then immediately reverted all of those buffs they gave him and left him with the worst damage values in the entire DPS role. And I see this on X all the time. People just showing that they're terrible players, trying to sit there and say, the character that can fly across the map can't do this anymore. It's like, first of all, are you stupid? He doesn't fly across the map. And even if he did fly across the map, even if he did with his little empowered punch, he's going like 1 mile an hour. You can easily shoot him. It's not hard. It's not like it's Spider-Man. It's not like it's Panther. It's not like it's Ultron using his shift. It's literally the most telegraphed, low damage output, non-threatening mosquito in front of you that if you can't answer that, you suck balls at the game. You're terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you cannot deal with an Iron Fist, that is on you. 100%. Because he is the only flanker that is actually telegraphed in the game. You can see him coming. You can react to him. He doesn't do enough damage to be a threat to you. He barely did it all. So why does he get gutted? If they remove his team up anchor, he will be the worst character, DPS character, to ever exist in a hero shooter. Ever. That's how bad it will be. And you might sit here, you might say, oh, well, Sam, he's got a positive win rate in Celestial Plus. And it's because people like me are playing him and we understand that, hey, I'm all about brawl and uptime. I'm not a win condition on this character. I play this character because I like the character, and niche heroes, have a lot of one tricks on them, have always had higher win rates because it's only the people who want to play those characters that play the characters. They don't have people flexing to them like Bucky, who's just a way better, easier option. That's the big problem with Iron Fist. You get 2 to 3 times as much done in any situation by swapping characters than you do by actually playing Iron Fist. And to me, that is a fundamental design flaw for what the character is. In Season 0, you at least had the options, even with the terrible cooldowns, to go for squishies, and if you made the right plays, you set yourself up well, you made them misuse their cooldowns, you could actually get a kill. But his damage output is so bad now. It is so bad compared to the Giga healing in this game, which I actually don't have a problem with in this circumstance, that he literally cannot get a kill even when he set himself up properly. And that's how you know you've ruined a character. When somebody can make all the proper plays and they still can't win because the power level of the character is nowhere near the rest of the cast. Phoenix can instantly 2-tap people. Hela can instantly 2-tap people. Panther can one-shot burst people, essentially, without them even recognizing that it's there. Spider-Man has his combo. Bucky does insane amounts of damage with an insane ult everything. And Iron Fist is a literal tickle monster. They have outright destroyed this character's identity from the top down. I'm okay with the slight cooldown reduction, but they have to revert this absolute brain-dead damage change where they tried to make him a worse version of Wolverine back to his Season 0 damage. Because sit there and have to, either punch tank all game or lose is not a fun gameplay loop. It discourages people from playing tank. And I would take doing less damage to every tank in the game to get my 20% damage back against Squishy so that my DPS character actually has a chance at doing what he's meant to do, in that he's meant to duel other DPS characters. But I do so little damage that I lose the neutral matchup to almost every single DPS and support in the game, even if I make them misplay because the damage is too low. It's disgraceful. You guys fucked up on this one. It's okay. It happens. But when you fuck up, you gotta go back and revert it. This was the worst rework change I've ever seen in the genre. It destroyed the character identity. And honestly, you have to play him with a Mantis pocket right now for him to be a competitive pick. He's a terrible, terrible hero, and I really hope they consider giving him his hero identity back. Considering they talk a lot about hero fantasy, and that's why Luna Snow has gotten to keep her 12-second ultimate. Loki gets to be the god of mischief and instantly copy and be so powerful. And I don't think they should change those character identities either. But Iron Fist has to lose his. That's not right, guys. Give Iron Fist his damage back. Enough is enough. Terrible rework. Fix it, please, if you could. Thank you guys for watching. That's my Iron Fist rant. What do you guys think about Iron Fist rant? Again, this guy is not like Panther. He's not like Spider-Man. He's one of the highest skill characters in the game because of how low his output is and how perfect your decision-making has to be. You make one mistake, it's Jover. Compare that to some of the hit scan in the game, which do take skill to play, but they just give way more direct results for actually making the proper plays. And Iron Fist, they made him so weak. He can't even get direct value for making the correct plays anymore. And that's just not good enough, guys. It's just not good enough. So let me know what you think down below. I'll catch y'all later. Take care. Much love. Peace out.